Throughout your playthrough of playing Cyberpunk 2077, you will encounter a number of different characters. These could be characters that you'll meet whilst going through the main story. Maybe even some of these characters will dish out a few side quests and some side activities. Other characters are just characters that you should know about within the world because they play a vital part within the Cyberpunk lore. So in this video, we are going to be going through 10 characters that you should definitely know before playing Cyberpunk 2077. Before I do go through everything though, if you do want to see any more content from me, I will be streaming this game daily the second that it does drop. Link to the Twitch stream will be in the description down below, as well as we also have a Discord server where it's so much easier to provide the latest news over there because it's so much quicker to type up the latest information rather than typing it up and actually recording videos. So if you do want the latest news or even just meet like-minded people such as yourself, then there is a link to the Discord in the description as well. Getting back into the video, we're starting off with some very obvious ones, but this will eventually go to characters that aren't so obvious. Starting off, we have the most obvious character, being V. This is the character that you control within Cyberpunk, and as for looks as well as gender, you can come up with all of it because of the Cyberpunk character customization options that you have. But there are some things that is set in stone. Firstly, you have V's name, then you have a V's age. V was born on the 10th of December 2054, making him 22 years old with the events of Cyberpunk 2077. And then we also have V's background. This will come down to the life path that you pick, and this will change what V's history actually is. Your options is Nomad, Street Kid, or Corporate. Depending on the life path that you pick here will change V's history. So as this is the character that you'll be controlling throughout the whole game, there's a lot of things that is up for changing with V's past as well as V's future. Next up, we have Jackie Wells. Jackie Wells is a character similar to V. There are some things that will change, and this links into the life paths because Jackie Wells is V's best friend. So depending on the life path that you pick, which is Nomad, Street Kid, or Corp, will also depend how you first meet Jackie Wells. If you were to select Nomad, V is a character that wants to get into Night City, and to help him get into Night City, V needs to meet up with Jackie Wells. Jackie is willing to smuggle V into the city as well as some contraband, but as they're crossing the border, Arasaka Border Patrol stops them, and this results in a high-speed chase. Once this is done, V and Jackie bond over it. If you were to select Street Kid, V is tasked with stealing a car, and when V finally finds where that car location is, he hops in the car, only for a couple seconds later for that door to be reopened and for there to be a gun pointing at V. This is Jackie Wells holding the gun. There's a conversation going back and forth, and then NCPD officers pull up and arrest them both. Later they somehow escape, and because of everything that went down, yet again they bond over the situation. In the Corp life path, V and Jackie are already friends, and when V encounters a very tough decision, the first person he goes to is Jackie Wells. So they already have a relationship within this life path, and depending which one you pick also depends up Jackie's past. There are some things that are set in stone for Jackie. Jackie was born in 2047, so that makes him 30 years old during the events of Cyberpunk 2077. Jackie Wells is also an ex-Valentino member, who left only after a few years going due to his mother finding out. Jackie did always want to be his own master and eventually settled as a mercenary. He is a professional and has great respect for mercenaries that came before. He values friendship, loyalty, and family above all else, and still holds the Valentinos close to his heart. Moving on from characters that don't so much have a variable past. Next up, we have Johnny Silverhand. Johnny Silverhand was originally born as Robert John Under and served in the First Central American conflict, only for him to lose his arm during this war. And he wasn't the only person. There was a lot of people that lost their limbs during the First American conflict, and this created a demand for cyberware. After this event, Robert decided that he wasn't going to stay within the military, and he became an ex-US military veteran. From this, he did decide to change his name. John was already his second name, so he decided to use that as his first name. And because he's now managed to get cyberware and replace his arm, Johnny Silverhand is what came together. Johnny Silverhand later became a rocker boy, as he was the lead singer of a band called Samurai. He was also one of the most prominent figures that fought against the corporations. More so than any corp, Johnny absolutely absolutely hates Arasaka and wishes to burn them to the ground for what they did to his girlfriend. I have got a video about this already breaking down the whole lore of Johnny Silverhand, so if you do want to see that, there is a link in the description. But Johnny Silverhand is a massive character within Cyberpunk, and after V does the job for Dexter DeShawn where he does get the chip of immortality, V later wakes up and sees a digital version of Johnny Silverhand. So between the characters that we've talked about so far, being V being the main character, you then have Jackie Wells, who is V's best friend and helps him through Cyberpunk 2077, and then you also have Johnny Silverhand, who is another person that will be helping V throughout the game. Now we're starting to move on to not so obvious characters. The next character is Dexter DeShawn. Dexter DeShawn, also known as Dex, is one of the best fixers in town. Hardly anything goes in Night City that he doesn't know about. He's got killer intuition and the experience to match. Word on the street is anyone who manages to get their first job for Dex is certainly going to be going far within their career. We've seen Dexter DeShawn in a number of different situations. Firstly, the official cinematic trailer for Cyberpunk does show Dexter DeShawn, and Dexter does want to go and get the chip of immortality, only for him to betray V once V brings it to him. We've also seen Dexter DeShawn in the 48-minute gameplay which was shown back in 2018. He gives you a mission as a test to see what you can do and what you can't do, and then if that is successful, he will be providing more missions to you in the future. The fifth character to go through is Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher is a full-fledged cyborg with little humanity left to be seen. He is the rival of Morgan Blackhand and dealt with killing the blow to Johnny Silverhand. Adam was given a choice by Arasaka after being reduced to mush by an RPG blast, either to pull the plug and just die, or to become a full-body cyborg. With little to no option and the lack of care for his human side, he agreed and became more machine than man. Adam has no empathy for people or even his fellow employees. Arasaka kept him alive, so he lives to repay their kind deeds to him by killing enemies of the corporation. In the years of 2077, Adam Smasher is still loyal to Arasaka and will be a character that you encounter. The next character to talk about is Richard Knight. This is a character that you will not encounter within the world of Cyberpunk, but you will definitely hear the name. Richard Knight is the founder of Night City. Originally, he planned to have a gold standard city, in which he managed to spike the interest of a number of different corporations, including Arasaka, EBM, and Petrochem, all of which heavily invested within this idea of a gold standard city. And originally, this was going to be called Coronado City. As the years passed and development started to make Coronado City, Richard Knight became a prominent figure. And because of who he is, he did get a number of threats. But because he was partnered up with corporations such as Arasaka, they eventually dealt with them. But Knight's luck eventually did run out. He was shot and killed in his penthouse suite in the newly constructed Parkview Tower on September 10, 1998. The killer was never found, but in memory of Richard Knight, the council did rename Coronado City as Night City in his honor. So you will not see Richard Knight himself, but what you will see is a number of different pictures, as well as the reference and people talking about Richard Knight. The next character is Saburo Arasaka. Saburo Arasaka went from being an Imperial Japanese Navy air service pilot to the corporate god of the 21st century. Born in Tokyo, Japan, he made the Arasaka Corporation into what it is today. Saburo is proud and honorable, and like a true samurai shogun he claims to be, he's power hungry. Saburo was born in 1919, so that makes him 158 years old of the events in Cyberpunk 2077. But although he is an ancient fossil, Saburo Arasaka remains the genius he always was in his younger years. Despite his age, Saburo never gave up control over Arasaka Corporation. When his eldest son Kai became the chief executive officer of the corporation in 1997, Saburo remained the chairman of the board and the true puppeteer behind all the major corporate decisions. In 2020, Saburo was confined to a wheelchair. Doctors on multiple occasions had informed him that his body could not stand anymore, cybernetic or organ replacements. In the years of 2077, Saburo is still alive, and at the age of 158, he is still the CEO of Arasaka, making him one of the most powerful men within the world. The next character to talk about is Meredith Stout. There's not too much information information about her, but we have seen her pop up in a number of different trailers as well as gameplay videos for Cyberpunk. Meredith Stout is a corpo and a senior operations manager for Militech in Cyberpunk 2077. We did see her in a mission when the Flathead bot was stolen by the Maelstrom gang. V was asked to meet Meredith, and as V did meet Meredith, Meredith showed her power. V had to go into the Maelstrom gang hideout, get the Flathead bot, and then give it back to Meredith. She serves as the point of contact for V and Jackie Wells. It's supposed to have a main part within the main story of Cyberpunk, as well as also give some side quests and side activities. Another character that keeps on popping up is Judy Alvarez. Judy Alvarez is a member of the Moxes and works in Lizzy's bar, which is the Moxes' turf. Judy runs the brain dance suite at Lizzy's bar and is also known to deal in illicit brain dances for the right price. Judy Alvarez is Night City's premier brain dance technician, heavily respected for her skills, innovation and creativity. She's motivated to change things for the better. She teamed up with the Moxes and currently works for them as a brain dance technician and editor. And we've seen her show up in a couple different trailers as well as gameplay videos. Because she's the go-to person for brain dance, she does run you and give you a tutorial on how to use brain dance and also the timeline for the gameplay features. She's another character that is supposedly to play a part within the main story, but she'll also give you a number of different side quests, which will involve a number of different brain dances where you will be able to find out the lore and backstory of Cyberpunk. And then finally we have Lizzy Wizzy. Lizzy Wizzy is a singer-musician and is one of Night City's top celebrities. She lives out in North Oak sub-district. She is a prominent artist. The thing that really boosted her to be one of Night City's top celebrities was that she once died on stage. She was dead for an hour but was fortunately revived by a trauma team group who replaced her entire body with cyberware. She then finished the concert in her new body. This led to the performance being considered one of the greatest forms of art ever. You may find it kinda difficult to spot Lizzy within the trailers, and this is because she has a couple different forms, but she has appeared in the trailers. Lizzy Wizzy has a detachable cybernetic jaw and uses a full body replacement in order to become her signature chrome form. Her hair will also change between pink, green and blue. We have seen in the trailer of a cybernetic jaw being taken away, so to point out that is Lizzy Wizzy right there, and we've also seen the full body chrome with pink, green and also blue hair. So now that you know what Lizzy Wizzy looks like, now it'll be a bit easier to spot when looking at the different trailers. But she is a prominent figure. She is supposed to play a part within the story, so you will meet her within the game. There's also been a lot of player speculation because there is romance options within Cyberpunk, whether or not you can have romance options with Lizzy Wizzy. With this, we will just have to wait and see. But anyway, that is 10 characters that you should know about. I've also given a bit of a background as well as a bit of lore about each and every single character. For some of these characters, I have done videos before, so if you would like to see them, there is links in the description down below. If you do want to see any more content from me, I will be streaming over on Twitch, and we will be doing daily streams when this game does drop on the 19th of November. And as soon as we finish this game, I'm probably going to start all the way back from the beginning, except take a completely different life path as well as make some different choices to see what else I can find. So if that is of interest to you, there is links to that in the description down below, as well as you can find links to Twitter, Instagram and also Discord. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.